Hello everyone, it's me, FelNE, and the pack-leading Ice Doggo has prowled the islands long enough without a guide. So today we'll be talking about the Frostwulf in this week's Behemoth breakdown. Starting off, Frostwulf states are nearly identical. When entering these states, Frost Geysers will start sprouting around the Behemoth. Fortunately, you'll be safe if you're up very close, but be careful when it becomes enraged since you'll have to dodge the enraged blast. When Aether Charged, more moves will become available. This includes the ability to summon its pack and inflict the Frost debuff when hit by some of its moves. As for its enraged state, aside from the usual changes, nothing notable has been added from my experience with this Behemoth. Alright, let's start off with the ones you might be familiar with already. Seen commonly throughout the fight, Frostwulf will constantly run and jump around the player to attack them in a few ways, such as charging its challenger with its head, smacking the opponent with its paw, or Frostwulf's unique rushing attack. Just remember to interrupt the Behemoth as much as you can and cash in on the extra damage. Lowering itself, Frostwulf will lunge and send its body tumbling at the player. As long as your eyes are on the Behemoth, this move is pretty easy to avoid, and if you can time it correctly, you can also boop the Behemoth. Pounce has two different versions, both with similarities to other Behemoths. The first is very similar to Riftstalker's attack. It's a simple up and down attack, so avoiding it should be roughly the same. As for its second version, this move is just like Stormclaw's Pounce, but what separates this move from Storm's is if you're hit by this move, you'll become Frostwulf's chew toy before being tossed aside, which brings up another move I dub Maul. Maul is when Frostwulf leaps forward towards the player. When hit, the player will be pinned and swung around before being tossed in the air. Luckily, its startup is very slow, allowing you to prepare for this attack. This move is incredibly fast and very difficult to avoid if you're not prepared. It's one of the two follow-up moves Frostwulf can use after a normal Pounce. When Aether Charged, the Behemoth sometimes can use an Ice Spike as a weapon to extend its reach. Just be sure to avoid its range even after dodging, since its second swing can still hit you if you're up too close. Briefly lifting up, Frostwulf will drop down and shake anything off its body. While this move seems harmless, it will hurt you, so be careful when you're up close. Plus, this is also the other move that the Behemoth will use as a follow-up to Pounce. Twisting its body, the Behemoth will bounce around, knocking down those too close. You can dodge this attack just before the Behemoth begins its turn, but depending on your positioning, this can be a very difficult move to dodge. So, the safer option is to back away from the Behemoth just before it uses this move. Spinning around and tossing a chunk of ice, shards of ice will rain down, leaving icy patches that will dramatically slow down the player if they happen to step on one of these patches. You can either stay away and determine how to approach the Behemoth, or if you're fast enough, you can get up close to Frostwulf since the Behemoth doesn't throw them at its feet. Making a quick howl, Ice Geysers will spawn in the direction of a targeted player. It's extremely easy to avoid, but be careful not to accidentally run into one, especially when you're in a group. Jumping backwards, a row of geysers will emerge. It's another really easy move to avoid, but be careful not to get hit by the impact that Frostwulf leaves when it lands back down. Alright, that should be enough information to get you started. Thank you everyone for watching, stay safe, and I hope to see you next time.